smiling assassin that is Paul Furlong started another 22-man brawl. So like someone's elbowed him, he's 2-footed him, and then we're fighting these weights from Ibiza town. Yeah, so Ollie's got the mic and he gave it. I know it's a final. I know we're 2-0 down, but with QPR, we're going to give it a right good go second half. And they just gave it, started fighting again. And we're like, oh, here we go. So like, and if we're winning, like in, I think he said Torino or something, he said, you go down, you hold your chest, and then and then the doctors come on and they stretch you off, and then we win the game.
Just going to catch drift on what I was just heading towards. A question from, this is completely what we were talking about before, but from James Mould.
Yeah.
Who was the player that refused to train because he didn't have sex? Surely you can spill the beans.
Yeah, no, I don't. I won't spill beans on it, but there was one. That's all I would say.
Oh, it was worth a try.
No, I did name Adama Traore with the tear gas because he's a really good guy. I liked him, and you can with that, and it's something I think is impressive. I'd probably sign a player for that. Shows he's got a bit. Yeah, I don't mind that. It shows something different. I like players like that.
Yeah, and confronting Sean Derry as well. He's not exactly the. He's not really one to go after, you'd have thought, but fair play to him.
Yeah, Sean lost a bit of colour in his face that day, to be fair. Like, if we didn't know what that was.
Oh, God. Right, so getting on to when you're sort of head of the under-23s, what was it like? I'm dying to know, with trying to manage the likes of Julio Cesar, Ji-Sung Park, Sean Phillips, Armand Traore, Bosingwa, it's hard to say his name, and Remy. How did you even manage their egos? Was it even possible to try and get them turn up to an under-23s game?
As a fan, I was just seeing £1 million checks running about the pitch and what is going on here in the reserves, and it was easy as a coach. I've just done 5-a-side and shooting. You're not going to do much of that lot on the pitch. You're not going to run a mile. So so it was weird. And at that time, it was like I was doing 2 training sessions, one for them players, and then taking the younger ones out and doing proper training afterwards. It was strange, and then but it was just showing you. We talk about the bomb squad or reserves that I used to do, and it just showed the different levels the club was going through. Probably the hardest one, my first bomb squad, had 3 of my mates in it. The first bomb squad, the stiffs, the reserves, the mushrooms, whatever they called themselves. I had 3 of my mates in it. It was Lee Cook, Martin Rowlands, Danny Shittu. So I'm coaching them now. So now I've got to run them if they're out of it. I've got to grass them up if they're late. But I used to say, do me a favour, I don't want to grass you up. But it was like them, Rowan Vine, people like that. Gary Borrow-Down. That was my first bomb squad. And then it moved on. It went up a level. And then good lads as well. Luke Young, Tommy Smith, who's a mate. I went to school with Tom, so now he's in there. Luke Young, him, Bobby Zamora made an appearance in there. People forget, forget Bobby, and I love Bobby. Probably QPR's most hated player, whichever way you look at it. Most hated. He couldn't warm up. He used to get booed. Yeah. He says it himself. QPR's most hated. I don't know more of a hated player than Bobby Zamora before the playoffs.
Yeah.
And QPR forget that.
Yeah, but he was the season in the Premier League, he was so influential with Charlie Austin. Yeah, to be fair, that is after that point. But yeah, no, I do get what you're saying. Yeah,
it's after. We nearly signed him at Millwall. So being assistant at Millwall, they agreed. They agreed he's coming to Millwall on loan, even though he's ex-West Ham. And I'll never forget, on the Friday, Harry rang up. He had an injury. We're putting him in the squad. Maybe we'd do it just before the deadline. And the game was Middlesbrough away. And it was a game that he chose to keep down. The keeper missed the ball and he taps it in from 2 yards.
Yes. I remember,
So from that, he was literally, we agreed everything at Mill for Bobby to come. And from that, he stayed. And what a great decision to not come because we'd have never got in the Premier League. He'd never scored.
The best one you ever made.
The best. So he never signed and he stayed and scored the playoff winner. Brilliant. So I actually had something to do with him staying there because they thought we better not get rid of him.
The playoffs wouldn't have happened if Bircham didn't sign Zamora. There we go.
All right, fans, you're welcome.
Yeah, Lord.
No, but literally, Bob. People forget Bobby was the most hated player. You couldn't get him. He couldn't go out to warm up because you just get abused. But then roll on the player final, how it can all change. And it was that Middlesbrough goal. It was that Middlesbrough goal that changed it all for
No, I remember it.
But even if you speak to him, it's that way. He's going to come to us, and literally day before someone gets injured, then he gets sub, but then he manages to play. So so that was that bomb squad. It was Luke Young, Tommy Smith, DJ Campbell, Jay Boothroyd.
Oh,
so that was the bomb squad, and then the bomb squad went into the
version 3.
Then it went into the Galacticos. The Galacticos,
the worldwide.
Team. I think the most expensive reserve team ever.
It must be.
Yeah, and I think that's the year. Is that the year we started the under-21 league? So then they couldn't even play in the under-21s because you only have 3 overage players. I remember Julio Cesar played in one game and he come out doing step overs, got caught on the ball. And I was like, oh, here we go. But yeah.
So I've got 2 questions on that. Like you're saying, you had your bomb squad, version 3 and what have you. And then you had separate training for the younger players. How did that period in QPR's history hinder like those younger players coming through? Because there's no role models there. How can you look up to some of their attitude and whatever? Like, do you really think that hindered some of the players coming through? Like, that hindered some of their chances? And what effect did that have?
No, not really, because our good ones we used to loan out to play league football. So I think the year that I was doing the 21s, I think at Christmas we were top of the league, by quite a few points. And I'm like, this ain't about us. It's not about winning a league. And we literally loaned out 10 players to league football. And you think we're a championship team. And we had 10 players out on loan playing league football, which was brilliant for us. Yeah. So they would know because they'd been there with the old QPR and the younger ones coming through. You still had good pros in that team that you could look at as role models. So it was just like, it's a bit like watching TV. Like, this ain't real. This is real. Concentrate on this.
Yeah.
Well, EastEnders ain't real. That ain't the real EastEnders. Look, this is the real. So it was just wow, the amount of money that was going about the place. And you thought, we can't sustain this. We'd have to get Champions League to make sure it carries on. And it was always the bubble. I always thought, I'm a QPR fan, so I always think the worst anyway, because normally the worst happens. But it was like, if we don't make Champions League, how's it gonna survive? We've got 70,000 fans. That's all. Like, I'm not great at maths, but I don't think that's gonna balance the books.
Yeah. No, you touched on one a second ago that it's always really, really intrigued me. Because a lot of the players you sign, you look at Ji-Sung Park, Bosingwa, Sean Wright-Phillips, whatever. We signed them really when they're edging past the peak of their career, on a lot of money and what have you. But one that's always really bothered me is Julio Cesar. Now, he was one of the best keepers in the world. And to be fair, I think it was signed at maybe about 33. And for a goalkeeper, that's not that old. Like, what was it about him that just did not work out whatsoever? Because he had the ability. Like, it always bothers me.
Well, I suppose going back to my thoughts, where we're about the same as Inter Milan and all that. But, and so why is he not buzzing to play for QPR? Well, if you're probably foreign, not even from England, if you're foreign and you're coming to QPR, you're thinking QPR, like. Why are you going to be bothered?
Yeah.
I remember, I think we played with Liverpool. We played Liverpool when Suarez absolutely ripped us. And before the tunnel, like, Suarez is giving, you here. Why are you here? Like, it's funny, it's because I had Ali Ford was interpreting for me.
Oh.
And then he just went back to him, twice the money that you're on, because Suarez was only on 45, 50 grand a week at Liverpool.
Oh, wow.
And he just went, because of twice the money you're on, and then just walked out.
Says it all.
Not bad.
Says it all.
Hurt me a little bit, but then I thought not a bad comeback.
Yeah.
But, So like, and it's like when I was happy that he did get fined 2 weeks' wages, because you remember he went to David Luiz's birthday party, and him and his family all dressed up in Chelsea kits.
Yeah.
So I'm giving it, can't be doing that. And then he got fined, and then he was screwing. I was in the meeting with him trying to explain, like, you can't do that. Like, if you're Inter Milan, you're not going to get dressed up as AC Milan.
Yeah.
Or if you're Barcelona, you're not going to get. Don't even touch the kit to even be.
Yeah.
Even if it's a joke, it's like not a joke, and our fans are seeing that. And yeah, he didn't really buy into that, but at least we let him know, and he still got fined for it. So,
Yeah, he deserves it.
yeah.
Touching on another one, Bosingwa. Like for example, like Bosingwa on the last day at Reading. That's one that I think will always stand with all QPR fans, and we never obviously never got to give a piece of our mind. Did you manage did you bite your tongue at that moment? Did you tell him what you thought?
No.
How do you deal with moments
Yeah.
like that behind?
No. A couple in training, like I spoke about before, where he got to me. I wanted to join in, and Harry putting the reins on me. No, leave it. But just that, because he's such a good player. He could have been the best player on the pitch if he wanted. Physical specimen, can run. Just wasn't bothered. That was the most disappointed I've ever been as a coach, and probably as a fan, because it's the boat. I just want to start swinging haymakers at everyone, because it's like it was like the Bill as the Super Sunday. Whoever wins got a great chance of staying up, and it was a 0-0 draw. I suppose the Reading fans were feeling the same about their team, but that was thinking, we're banging trouble here. Not that we're going down, but banging trouble probably the next year. Or this could be the beginning of the end. Which we managed to get back up, but just looking round and seeing people, when people say, they're not bothered, a lot of them wasn't bothered.
Yeah,
they weren't bothered. We got relegated, and that's where, as a professional, I'd be fuming, even if I didn't love the club. But just to add, when you say about adding pressure to it as well, that was just, that was just eating up everything inside of me. So that was awful times. But again, if we didn't go down, we wouldn't have had to play our final. So
absolutely,
he takes with one and he gives with another.
Oh God! So just want to touch upon one quickly. A lot of QPR fans have a lot of hatred towards this man. It's Mark Hughes. What was kind of like? I mean, Joe Barton's come out and been very vocal, saying he's the worst manager he's ever played under in his career. What is that? What was your opinion of Mark Hughes?
Personally, I got on well with him because probably the job that I done at the club, and I was probably earmarked to be sacked because he normally brings all his team in with him. And Glenn Hodges normally done my job, the 23s, bridging up to the first team and being involved with the first team. So I think I was probably earmarked for being sacked, but I think we got on really well. And as a person, I thought he was a really nice bloke, had a really good sense of humour. I remember the first day knowing Kevin Hitchcock like I do now, but I knew it before because Dennis Wise good friends with him. I'll never forget the first dinner. It was all a bit quiet. We're in the canteen at lunch and we're sitting around. So it's Mark Bowen, Eddie Nedvisky, Kevin Hitchcock. There was me, Cole Sarant, who stayed with me. But
Cole Sarant.
Then there was talk about they're bringing in another fitness coach. So like we were the Walking Dead. I used to call it the Walking Dead, us three. So because Kevin Hitchcock was there, we had David Rouse, the goalkeeping coach. And then I was trying to have bets of us three. Who's the first one that gets sacked? Let's have a bet. But they were being a bit serious. So we're sitting around the table and it was a bit quiet. And I just went, look, lads, I've got to be honest. I'm a bit stuck for banter because I said half my banter's bantering Chelsea and you lot play for Chelsea, and half of them are battering the Welsh, and you're all pretend tash. So I really can't say much. And then that sort of broke the ice. Oh, and then I got on the phone. I got the quarter-final goal out against Eddie Nedvisky, Robertson from the halfway line, knowing it was Ed, did you play this game? Was that you, Ed? And he's like, oh, fuck. And then that sort of like broke the ice. But personally, I really got on with Mark Hughes, and I could see what he used to do and what he was good at. He was into the fitness. He was into tracking the stats. But very modern. But again, what I thought, I can speak about now, what I thought, it was recruitment let them down. I don't know who was in charge of that. It was all Mark Hughes. But it was probably, like I've said, why they were so good, Ollie and Neil Warnock, where they had the rapport with the players. Mark Hughes was a bit standoffish. And I remember I did ask him about it, and he said, and he weren't being big time. He just said, look, when he was at Bayern Munich and Barcelona, the manager was like, there as like an authority figure type, not in and amongst them. And that's what he believed, because he played under that, he liked it. That's what he believed. And maybe at bigger clubs it probably could have worked, but I think QPR is a bit different. And then at the time we probably needed to. It needed someone to mix them up and gel them together. But I think he said, like, with that's the Premier League. That's what you get pockets, and you get foreign players and English players, and it's a bit distorted. But you got to look at it at the time. For results wise, it was awful at QPR.
Yeah.
So as a fan, I wouldn't like Mark Hughes as much as the QPR fans. But personally, with working close to him and seeing like what a nice bloke he was, I got on with him that way. But cool. So you're torn that way, but as a manager, it wasn't great, was it?
Yeah, it is interesting because from our perspective, we don't see that. We see the performances and we see the result. So that's always interesting to see a behind the scenes bit, especially from a QPR fan as well. So no, that is interesting because you're probably the only QPR fan that has a bit of respect for him because he's, like you say, you see how he conducts himself, what he was trying to do. We don't see that. So no, it is difficult.
Yeah, but you go on results. Everything's judged on results.
Oh yeah, of course.
So as a coach, but I'm talking about as a coach, we could work on something for 5 days straight, like day in, day out, blah, blah, blah. First 10 minutes, centre back steps on the ball, smashes it in his own net, you lose 1-0. Oh, the defence, why are you not working on the defence? And then we had a game against Reading. So like Reading away, live on TV, I think it was a Friday night.
Yeah.
And then me and Ian are talking, and we go 5 at the back. And Curtis Fleming's he's a bit OCD. Oh no, we haven't worked on it. We haven't done that. Do you know what? We're doing animation. We show the video. We do a walkthrough in the room. We can do this. And it's like, come on then. We went out and we won. Jamie Mackie scored at back post. We won 1-0.
I remember it.
It's brilliant. And then people, we must have worked. I think one of the lads done it as a joke. He said, we worked on that all week and it's great to see it come off. It's just, again, it's like reading the situation and taking a bit of a gamble, thinking,
being adaptive.
We can do this. And as I said, don't matter what goes on in a week, you're judged on a Saturday. So normally with team selection, another Reading one, I remember we had a Boxing Day and we had game after game after game and we played Reading away Boxing Day. Bidwell missed the penalty, didn't he? But we had to change the team because people were, Matt Smith, he struggled playing like 2 games in a week, let alone 4. So we had to leave him out. Someone got ill, so we had to leave him out. Someone had family problems, we had to leave him out. Someone was struggling with an injury, couldn't play on the Saturday, so we had to leave him out. And Bids misses the penalty last minute, so we lose 1-0, even though we battered them.
Yeah.
And then I remember that's the only time on Twitter I think I replied to them. They give me, it's a disgrace changing the team. We just had a great result at Aston Villa or somewhere we won. Great result. Why are they changing? That's what we didn't come out and say it, but that's why you change the team. And like sometimes the player's left out because he's turned up late twice in a week, and you've got that policy. You have to leave him out. But then fans are always like, "Oh, why is he left out? He should be playing." So when other managers and coaches looking at it on a professional side, I never like moan at people about they should be playing them because they're working in, week out for them. But the thing about Twitter, fans never come out and give it. I got that 1,000,000% wrong. I said I was going to play this team and we won 3-0. It's always straight away. I wouldn't have done that. Straight away, I wouldn't have done that. And it's because I've known both sides of the fence. Sometimes there's like outside influences or other stuff that have gone on my players haven't played.
Yeah, it's tough because, like I said, we don't get that back perspective. But just touch on there, you brought on straight to my next point. How did working with Ollie come about, coming back as assistant manager?
Yeah, strange one because I was so happy out in America. I was in Arizona, I was in Scottsdale, one of the best places in the world to live. Just loving life. It was beautiful. And then they'd lost to. Did they draw or lose to Forest? And something happened, and then I got my time. It was like 3-4 o'clock in the morning call from because when I left, Harry wanted me to stay and to be more influential in the first team, but I always promised Ollie if he ever needed me, I'd go with him, and he was at Millwall, and it was a step up to be assistant manager. And maybe I shouldn't have gone. Maybe I should have stayed, but like it's Ian Holloway's like family. So yeah, I'd go to Millwall. And one of the packs I had, they would ask for compensation, but Tony Fernandez said to me, "Look, I'll let you go for nothing, but when I want you back, or if I give you a call, you've got to come back." So shook hands, made a deal, and then I think it was that Sunday morning about 4:00 in the morning, Tony rang me up and said, "Look, I'd like you to come back. You love the club, blah, 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 blah." And I said, "Yeah, I don't want to come back and just be like a figurehead or a cheerleader. I want to be involved. So I'll wait for you to see what manager you get." But I said, "Look, you've never gone ex-QPR with anyone you've hired as a manager, really. You've always gone outside." I think at this time, I said, when it's like when I went back as a player, that you've lost the fans a little bit. You need to get them back together. I would look at a manager to be ex-QPR, whether it be, I said, Gareth Ainsworth, Ian Holloway, someone like that's got a connection with the fans. Yeah. And then it turned up, I think they'd done an interview process and Ian got the job. And that's when I agreed to come back. And it just seemed like the perfect time to come back. But I honestly wouldn't have come back for any other club, but it was QPR. Made that decision, and it was a great decision. And you speak to Ian Holloway, he said that was probably the best job he's ever done as a manager, and like he's got Blackpool promoted and all that, because so much stuff that was going on behind the scenes for us to offload players, change them, and bring in the youngsters that we did, and still finish. I think it was 15th or 16th that year 16th. We finished. Yeah. And I think the average age of the team ended up being the last 3 or 4 games. I think it was 23 or 24. Yeah,
ridiculous.
Compared to what it was. And then I remember the last game at Leeds and saying, I've said to Ollie, I think you're going on, to be fair. I've heard some rumours. I think Steve McLaren had been at the last. Steve McLaren been at the last.
I've got a photo of him outside the game. Yeah, on the last game. I've seen him.
I know Peter. He was at the last 20 games, 15, 20 games. So, yeah, and I spoke to Tony a few times, and then I said, to be fair, if they want this team to get in the playoffs next year, then we can't do it. If they're not going to recruit, then we can't get. Pep Guardiola can get this team in the playoffs with what we have. We're playing youngsters. Yeah. We're winning games and doing well. And I think when Ollie went and then they wanted me to stay, I've always been quite honest. I don't think that's right, especially if you've got a new manager coming in and someone's been there, and I don't think it's the right thing to do. So I made it easier, and I think Steve wanted to bring his own people in. That I agreed to go, because for me, I left it on a high note. We probably made the team better and younger than what it was when we come in. And I didn't want it to end on a sour note. And I didn't want to be at a club where if the manager comes in and don't really want you, of course he's not going to trust you if you've had great affinity with the club. And I thought because I've gotten well with the players, if it starts going bad, they turn to you, don't they? Whether it's the fans, I knew the owners would, or the players would, and you didn't want to be in that situation. But maybe I might have had a chance at the job if it did go wrong, to be next in line, but I couldn't work like that. I couldn't be like the Grim Reaper waiting for it to go bad to step in. So I just thought it was better to go out on a bit of a good note.
Yeah, so obviously Hasselwank, as some of us refer to him as, finished, departed in November, and you guys came in, got the team to 18th, which I think was a very, very good job, well done. And then, like you say, the off season, loads of big names are gone, cut the wage bill drastically. And to be honest, the aim of that season was to steady the ship and cut the wage bill. And not only that, we finished 2 places higher in 16th. So to me, I was fully satisfied. Like I say, I take my hat off to you now. I'll say thank you for the job you did with Ollie, because I think it was superb. Were you when you said to Ollie there, I think your time could be up. Was Ollie surprised at that? Did he have a feeling it was coming, or how did you overall feel that you had done, just with disregard to McLaren potentially coming in?
No, well, as I said, I thought we maybe could have gone a place higher. I don't know, but I thought we done really well that season. Like fantastic. You're thinking for 2 months of that season, we had 3 fit defenders. Yeah, it was Furs, Alex Baptiste, and Bidwell. Yeah. That was for 2 months. We beat Wolves at home, Sheffield United at home, who both Wolves went up. We beat them at home with that back 3, and that was the back 3 because they was the only fit ones we had. Yeah, And when Nedham was out with a hamstring, Lynch was injured. It just went on like so. Yeah, no, I don't even think Furs was injured. I think it was Baptiste, Robinson, and Robbo couldn't train because of his knee, and Bidwell. And we managed to get results when it was like when our backs was against the wall with that, and then towards the end of that year. And then this is all with a team where the club told the players they weren't getting contracts for next year for the last just after Christmas. So we had older pros which we got on great with, and we treated with respect. So yeah, but they're influential in the dressing room. So we couldn't have done as well without them being such good pros with Nedham, Perch, Jamie Mackey. Like these players have been told they're going in January, and we've still got all that time to play from the end of the season. So yeah, but we brought in like Ryan Manning was released by the club, gone. Because when I come in, I thought, I knew Ryan from before, and then we brought him in. He's done so well, and he kicked on to do what he was. And then we brought little Smiley, Paul Smith.
Yeah, Samuel as well. Bright say Samuel.
Bright come in easy. We gave it chair. So like so many good young ones that come in, and it was weird. Even Ren come in and scored in his debut. All these lads were, and that's why we didn't put them in early, and that's probably. For me, working with the 23s and with Ollie having his experience, it was we have to put them in at the right time when they're ready so they can hit the ground running, because we don't want them to come in, not do well, and it puts them back. And I think that's one of the good things we've done. We got it right with the youngsters in the time to bring 100%. Them in, because it was so no youngster come in and done bad. They all come in and done well, and it was about the right time to bring them in. And I honestly think the club, not because we left, the club missed a big year with them youngsters when Steve come in. They 100%. Didn't play.
Yeah, look at how well Chair and Eze did when you brought them in, slowly transitioned them into the side, gave them experience, and let them kick on towards the end. And you just look at Eze on the McLaren, non-existent.
Yeah, well, the big one was Paul Smith. Like he's come in, he come in and hit the ground running, scored against Cardiff, scored against Sheffield Wednesday, I think it was, and then hardly made an appearance. Like. I think Ilias didn't make an appearance, and he done well last year, but even under Warburton at the start of pre-season didn't really play, wasn't really fancied, but as then come in. But that year, I think them youngsters could have had a minimum of another 30 games under their belt, which would have put up their transfer value and could have kicked on, but it sort of like went a step back.
Yeah, they got it horribly wrong. But let's end it on a positive note. Your time as assistant manager. What was your favourite match? I can definitely think of one. Interested to see
one's the Brentford one.
Yeah,
that is up there. That for me, that was as good. That was as good as winning that.
100%. Honestly,
again, I'm fuming, and like that's when I fell out with. That's when I didn't fall out with him, but I disagree with him because he said he got emotional after the game about the fans leaving. And I'm like, I would have left. There's no way I would have been there at 2-0 with like 2 minutes left or in injury time. I would have left. One, because I don't want to get added up by their fans sitting there losing. Like, we're 2-0 down. It's not like it was 1-0. And then that was great.
That was ridiculous.
It's weird because but there were some games we would do so well in, like Fulham at home, and then they scored a lucky goal and get away. And we didn't deserve to be 2-0 down that game. No, but we were 2-0 down. Yeah. And then to come back to 2-2 was like brilliant. Lives in the memory, that one. But I think as an all-round performance, Villa away when we won 3-1.
Yeah, Manning. Who else is it? Yeah, I remember Manning. It was
Manning and Luke Freeman, because we rested Luke Freeman.
Yeah,
which he weren't happy about, and he came on a sub. Yeah. But
great performance.
That was the first game really we played easy as a 10 in that game. And
I remember he was phenomenal.
He was excellent, and that was a great game. And again, Fulham away was good. It's another draw. But
the 2-2. Yeah, the 2-2. Great game that. Yeah,
which was like a game. First half we got it wrong again. I can go back into tactics where we just played Man City away. Matt Smith was a colossal, played magnificent, but we was playing Fulham.
Oh, I've lost you.
Oh, don't worry. Someone's called me. But we was playing Fulham, and we know they have a high line. We wanted pace,
Yeah.
And I'm saying we should have probably played Connor Washington up front for his pace, but Matt Smith had just done so well. And I think Ian was getting criticised for changing the team, and it's a winning team.
Yeah.
So I think that was the only time Ollie probably, with outside influence, picked the wrong team at the start of the game. So at half time we changed it, brought Connor on, brought Smithy on.
Smith came on, yeah.
And where we went, the plan was to win the ball and attack.
I don't know how we didn't win that game.
But yeah,
it's
and
mad.
we should have. At the end, we had a great chance. But again, it's weird how our 2-2 can be just as good as a win. And that was one that
was testament. Yeah, 100%. That Brentford one though, that was because I was sitting P block, obviously up a loft, and so many people had left. And one thing I don't believe in leaving earlier. It's just something I don't do. But just seeing all the people rushing back just for the one goal, and then all of a sudden, even more coming back for the second one.
Yeah,
absolutely mental. I'll never ever forget that game. But it was it's a good way to end off. Good memory for the your assistant, yourself, as assistant manager. But we'll just touch upon now, just to round off. What do you make of the current side? How do you think it's going at the moment? How do you think the season's been so far?
I think the current side is we are where we should be. I think we'll end up finishing anywhere between, I think, 16th to 13th. That's where we could finish. But I think as long as you're playing youngsters and you're finishing them positions, it doesn't matter. If you've got a young team, if you're not going to go up, then play youngsters to gain experience and get transfer value. And there's no difference between finishing even 17th or 12th. There's as long as like you're playing youngsters and doing in there. And I think Mark Warburton's doing a good job with that. He plays an attractive style of football, and he's a good football man. My one criticism is we don't have a plan B.
Yeah.
And I think we done all right with that, with Matt Smith coming off the bench and going a bit more direct if you have to. And I think even the greatest, people get stuck in the philosophy of football where you get Mourinho, his philosophy of football is winning. He don't care if he has to come on himself and 2 foot. But that's probably why Arsene Wenger never beat him as a coach in his career, because Arsene Wenger's got his philosophy of playing open, attractive football. Well, I think Arsenal would have won a lot more leagues if they had a big centre forward to bring on and go more direct. So I just think, we miss out on that a little bit as a team to go as a plan B. Right, we're going for it but again, it's hard at the minute because we turned it round before us. That's something I was proud of, that they wanted us to bring in. We made our home form really good when we was there, and I think the plan B was a part of that, because we was always in games and the lads wouldn't stop till the final whistle. And I think Mark and the team are suffering a bit from that, from Loftus Road, because the fans do play a big part of Loftus Road. And to not have the fans there, we don't have that at the games.
I know been that added bonus for us.
Yeah, I think everyone can say that. Every club can, but I think with the fans being so close to the pitch, and
it is a bit different for us.
I'm probably being biased.
I think I am as well.
Because Loftus Road, I think every club will have that. So when you go away from home, it's easier for you. But I think at home, especially for QPR, is added bonus to have the crowds. But again, I think that's where we are as a team, and I think that's where we finish. And you just got to go support QPR because it's QPR, and you have to, because it's in your blood. And if you don't, you're letting the rest of your family down. So stop moaning and get a QPR. As it says, we're ship up local, so that's what you have to do.
Yeah, 100%. Just question from Alfie Lowings: who's your favourite QPR player in the current squad?
Oh, that is tricky. I would go Oz, because he's been there so long, and we had Oz for years. I always like Ilias. I think Ilias is a fantastic player. I think we should play him more as a 10. For a lot of the time, we play him out on the left for some reason.
Don't agree with that.
I see Ilias as a number 10. Of course, Bright's a fantastic player. I don't think he will resign.
I don't think so.
I don't. But again, I think that's why Joe Lumley and Manning's probably been harshly treated, because out of all the players, I think Bright's the only one who said he's wanted to go. The other two didn't say they wanted to go, and they've not played, but Bright is, because
it is.
He's under 23, so we're doing it as a money thing. So for me, as a club, we either do it as a principal thing. We don't care who you are. If you don't want to play for QPR, you go. So you all go, or play, and then you can deal with contract. I think, and they are two of probably the best lads you could ever get, Joe Lumley and Ryan Manning.
Yeah, they're good mates as well, aren't they?
Love the club. Would stay at the club if they got a good contract negotiated. And I think they've been harshly treated. I know fans give them a bit of stick, but either from the day that Ryan went, he would have stayed. And if he'd have got, they weren't dealing with the contract negotiations. Their agents are. So it's not like that's what they're saying. They're going in themselves, giving it, I want money. Like a lot of players, it's not even genuine. So like a lot of players, they say to their agents, that's what they're paying for. You deal with it. I'm concentrating on football.
Yeah.
But then, so yeah, I don't agree with fans giving them stick, because I know what great lads they are and how much they do like playing for the club and want to stay and play for the club. So it's a strange one. They're two great lads, but it's one of them. The new lads that have come in, we do it at QPR. We make players to be better than what they're like. Lyndon Dykes seems like a decent player.
Yeah.
But fans go on like he's the new Simon Stainwood or Charlie Austin, where he's not scored a goal from outside the penalty.
Yeah.
But when he don't play, fans are moaning like it's a natural born Charlie Austin goal scorer. We ain't got in the team, or Gary Bannister. It's like, lads, calm down. And Albert Doma, I tried to sign Albert a few times, but he wouldn't take less to come to QPR. But now he's at QPR, so he's finally got to play. I still hold it. He should have come and played for us when we was there.
Yeah. It's a good signing there, nonetheless. And
very, very good signing. He knows he should have signed for us.
Yeah, I think he knows that deep down, doesn't he? I think he kind of regrets it as well.
Yeah. Well, you as a QPR fan, you should want to come and play for a club when you're a bit more in your prime. Don't forget about money. Look, you can't. I've done it. So I know it's a good decision. Yeah. I know it's a good decision. So, but it's always great to have local lads in the team and who support the club. So I'm more.
Oh, I've lost you.
Has it gone?
Yeah, it's gone. Oh, I got you again now.
I think it was these. Wait a minute. What's happened here? Hang on.
I can hear you.
They run out. They might have run out.
Might have done. So that was my last little question anyways. All right.
If I do that, what is happening here?
Hello?
No. Yes, got you.
I can hear you.
I got you. There you go. I don't know what I was saying at that time.
Something about it's great to have QPR fans or something in the side.
Yeah, so you get a different stage of QPR fans. You get your QPR supporters.
Yeah.
Lee Cook, Martin Rowlands, Albert Adoma, and you get your QPR fanatics. That I'd say will be me and Ken. So.
Yeah. No, definitely.
So you get QPR fans where it's your favourite team, but it's not life or death.
Yeah, there is a difference, and that's why I think you've got a special song down the aisle. So yeah, exactly. But one last question to round it all off: when are we going to see you again involved down at the Kai and Prince or Loftus Road or whatever it's been named when that time comes?
Yeah, well, and it's great we do it for charity, but it's Loftus Road for me. It'll always be Loftus Road. And it's great they called it the Kai and Prince, but I don't think any real QPR fan calls it the Kai and Prince. I think even his dad said, he understands it's Loftus Road. You can call it what you want. It will always be Loftus Road.
Yeah.
So, well, I'm back in at Christmas. So if they let fans in like the rumours there are, I'll be down there. But I said when I left, at some part of my career or life, I will work back at QPR, even if it's a steward, just to get free tickets. I'll be there, even if it's to save me money actually buying another ticket. So I will be there. I will always be there as a fan whenever they let us in. And I hope it is at Christmas because they're the best games, as as fans or family members. We've done it for the last 3 years. Like the mob of us go down there, all my brothers, sisters, all my kids, nieces and nephews. It's brilliant. So I'm praying they let some sort of fans in at Christmas so we can enjoy that.
Yeah, no, well, I think that's a wrap. a massive thank you for joining me today. It's been exciting to go back through all these good and bad times. But no, massive thank you. Best of luck with the Bahamas.
You're welcome. But I told you I had to be done by 9 o'clock out here. It's nearly 9:30.
Yeah,
so it's
we've
my
overrun.
fault I've gone over. But I said that. I said when it gets to QPR, I can talk about it all day. It's no problem.
Yeah, no, massively appreciate it. All the best, and enjoy the sunshine. I mean, it's looking pretty bleak out here for us, but
yeah, it's only about 8 degrees today, so it's a bit chilly. I might have just put on a factor 4.
Oh my God. Well, thank you very much. All the best.
No problem. Cheers. See you later.